Students, hope all are fine. Today we will discuss about Unit 1 in Computer Subject, Introduction to Computers. So in this topic, you will learn about computer system, hardware, software and computer languages. Let's see one by one. This is your computer book front page, and inside that you have 7 units. First unit is Introduction to Computers, second one is Operating System, and third unit more on Excel, and fourth unit more on PowerPoint 2008, fifth unit Image Editing with Photoshop, sixth unit Introduction to Database, and last unit 7th Internet Services. Today we will discuss about Introduction to Computers on Unit 1. Generally, we know that a computer is an electronic machine. Here, a computer is a machine for manipulating data according to a list of instructions are known as program. Here, manipulating data means handling data or controlling data. So, a computer is a machine for handling data according to a list of instructions are known as program. Now simply said that program is the list of instructions. Program is the list of instructions. A computer allows users to store and process information quickly and automatically. Who are the users? We are the users. So a computer allows us to store and process information quickly and automatically. Generally, a computer can be classified on the basis of size and power. It can be classified on the basis of size and power. Computers is used to solve problems in many fields such as education, home, medicine, science and technology. Computers are made up of two parts. One is hardware and another one is software. Computers are made up of two parts. One is hardware and another one is software. Let's see one by one. Already we know that the physical parts that we can able to see and touch are called hardware. The physical parts that we can able to see and touch are called hardware. Example: monitor, CPU, keyboard, mouse, printer, hard disk, etc. Now the hardware is the physical units of the computer system. Physical units means physical parts of the computer system. Now the physical parts is required to create, use, manipulate and store electronic data. Here the physical equipment required to create, use, manipulate and store electronic data. Electronic data means the data which is present in computer is known as electronic data, because computer is an electronic machine. The data which is present in computer is called electronic data. Look at the picture. These are the examples of hardware like monitor, speaker, keyboard, mouse, hard disk, VGA card, RAM, etc. Because these are the parts that we can able to see and touch. Already we learned that the physical parts that we can able to see and touch are called hardware. Now all computers require the following hardware components. What are they? First one, input unit, second one, processing unit, third one, output unit, and fourth one, memory unit. These 4 units are generally required by all computers. Next one, input unit. The input unit enables you to enter data into the computer. The input unit enables you to enter data into the computer. The common input devices are keyboard and mouse. With the help of keyboard and mouse, you can enter data into the computer. These are the input devices. Another one, output unit. The output unit enables the computer to show the desired result and information. The common output devices are monitor, printer and speakers. In the monitor, we can see the information like images, text, documents, videos, etc. Likewise, in printer, we can able to take print, and on that print we can see the information. And third one, in that speakers we can hear something like audios. So these are the examples of output devices. Next one is system unit. The system unit is the core of the computer system. The system unit is the core of the computer system. Generally, it looks like a rectangular box. It looks like a rectangular box. Inside the box, there are many electrical components. Inside the box, there are many electrical components. The most important components is central processing unit, CPU. CPU is the brain of our computer. Another one, processing unit. The central processing unit or CPU is the most important part of computer system. The abbreviation for CPU is central processing unit. The CPU is the most important part of computer system. The CPU looks like a rectangular box. CPU looks like a rectangular box. Inside the box, there are many electrical components are present. CPU is generally called the brain of our computer. CPU is called the brain of the computers. CPU makes all the calculations. CPU makes all the calculations and processing the data. CPU mainly consists of the following units. What are they? One is ALU, arithmetic logic unit. Second one, CU, control unit. And third one is MU, memory unit. This picture shows how does computer work. At first, a computer gets input from keyboard or mouse and then go to processing stage. The processing stage happens in CPU, right? And then after processing, it finally gives the output. We can see the output in monitor or printer. First one is arithmetic logic unit, ALU, one of the units of CPU. The ALU or arithmetic logic unit performs all the arithmetic computations and logical operations. Here computations means mathematical calculation. The arithmetic logic unit performs mathematical calculations and logical operations. It also performs the task of addition, subtraction, division, multiplications and logical and relational operations. I have given one table on the left side. Some of the operations are performed by ALU. One is arithmetic operations, and second one is relational operation, and third one is logical operations. On the right side, this picture shows that how ALU works. And one, control unit, CU. The control unit or CU controls and coordinates the activities of all other units of a computer system. Coordinate means organize. So the main work of control unit is to control and organize the activities of all other units of a computer system. All other unit except control unit are arithmetic logic unit and memory unit. So look at the picture. In step 1, the control unit fetches the instruction from main memory. Fetch instruction means it takes instruction from main memory. And step 2, the control unit decode instruction into command. Decode instruction means it convert the instruction into a secret code, right? And after that, arithmetic logic unit execute that commands performed by control unit. And after that, in step 4, arithmetic logic unit store the result in the main memory. After that, it will give the output, and finally we get the output. So this is main work of the control unit. Third one, memory unit or MU. The memory unit or MU is an important part of the computer system. In computer system, memory unit is an important part. The storage device of the computer system is called as memory. Generally, memory means it can store something or any instructions. So memory is an storage device of the computer system. Here the memory unit can receive the data, hold it the data and deliver according to the instructions from the control unit. So the memory unit can deliver the data to anyone before the instructions given from the control unit, then only it can deliver the data to anyone. So there are two types of memory. One is primary memory and second one is secondary memory. Another component is RAM. The abbreviation for RAM is random access memory. The RAM is used to temporarily store the information when the computer is switched on, and the information will be automatically deleted or erased when the computer is switched off. First one, primary memory. It is often called the working memory or main memory of the computer system. The primary memory is also called as working memory or main memory of the computer system. The primary memory is capable of sending and receiving data at very high speed. It can able to send and receive data at very high speed. Primary memory is temporary in nature because when a computer is switched on, the primary memory work is to store the data temporarily. At the same time, when a computer switch off, the data will automatically deleted. So the primary memory is called the volatile memory because it is temporarily in nature. It cannot able to store the memory permanently. It can able to store the data temporarily. So it is temporarily in nature. So it is called volatile memory. Example of primary memory is RAM. The abbreviation for RAM is random access memory. Another one, secondary memory. So it is used to store data for long time, but primary memory is used to store data for only short time. Now secondary memory operates at a slow rate than primary memory. It means primary memory can able to send, receive and data at a very high speed, but secondary memory operates at a slower rate. So compared to primary memory, secondary memory is very slow. Secondary memory is permanent in nature, but primary memory is temporary in nature. Secondary memory is cheaper than primary memory. It means its cost is very low compared to primary memory. Some of the examples of secondary memory are floppy disk, hard disk and magnetic tapes, etc. Already we learned that computer memory is basically two types. One is primary memory and another one is secondary memory. Here RAM, random access memory, and ROM, read only memory, are primary memory. At the same time, floppy disk, hard disk, CD and magnetic tapes are secondary memory. Here a primary memory can be directly accessed by CPU, but the secondary memory like floppy disk or hard disk, etc., cannot be accessed directly by CPU. So the data in the secondary memory first transfer to primary memory and then to the CPU, because secondary memory cannot be directly accessed by CPU. So the data in the secondary memory is first transferred to primary memory and then to primary memory to CPU. Next topic is software. Software means it's a set of computer programs that are loaded to computer for its proper functioning and processing information. So software is a set of programs for proper functioning of computer and processing the information. Some of the examples of software is MS Word, MS Excel, MS PowerPoint, etc. So the softwares can be divided into two types. One is system software and application software. System software contains device system drivers, utilities, operating BDMS system, language translators and presentation. On the other side, application software contains word processor, software, electronic spreadsheet, image editor, desktop publishing software, and Microsoft Word. Let's see one by one. First one is system software. The system software are designed to control the operation of the computer system. So system software are designed to control the operation of the computer system. It helps us the computer to work together. System software helps the computer to work together. Some of the functions of system software are visual display, file management, keyboard input, security management, etc. Generally, the system software can be categorized into operating systems, device drivers, language translators, and system utilities. Let's see one by one. First one, device drivers. The device drivers is used for proper functioning of various devices connected to the computer like printer, monitor, mouse or keyboard. So, for proper functioning of printer, monitor, mouse or keyboard, device driver is must. It should be installed properly into the computer. Then only it will functions properly. Otherwise, a message will be displayed like device driver software was not successfully installed. So, for proper functioning of the systems, devices, device drivers should be installed properly. Now, a device drivers act like a translator between the device and program. So next one, language translator. So what is the meaning of language translator? So in computer, the tools or software perform the task of translation is called language translator. So the tools or software perform the task of translation is called language translator. Already we know that computer only understand the language of zeros and ones. Computer only understand the language of zeros and ones is called machine language. So the machine language contains zeros and ones. Is it possible to write the program in machine language? No, it is very difficult to write the program in machine language. For this, a high level program language have been developed. For example, C, C++, Java, Python example. These are the examples for high level programming languages. It can be written in English. So the programs written in high level programming language needs to be translated into machine language. For this, language translator is necessary. Language translator is necessary. So the translator software main work is to translate high level programming language into machine language, because computers only understand the language of zeros and ones. So the translator software translate the high level programming language written by us, translate into machine language. So already I learned that the tools that perform the translation is called language translator. So the different types of language translators are compilers, interpreters and assemblers. Let's see one by one. One is compilers. Compilers are also known as language translators. Here a compiler translates the programs written at high level language into machine level language. We already know that high level language is C, C++, Java can be written in English by us. At the same time, machine language contains zeros and ones. So the compilers translate the programs written at high level language into machine language. Compilers reads the whole programs and translate the entire programs at once into the machine language. Once the programs can be translated, it can be saved automatically and executed directly. Look at the picture. A computers translate the high level language into low level language. Interpreters. An interpreter reads one statement of programs at a time and translates it into the machine language and execute it immediately. But in compilers, once the programs has been translated, it is saved automatically and then the program will be executed. Interpreters continues to read, translate and execute the statements one by one but in compilers it translates the whole statements at once, but in interpreters it translates the whole programs one by one, so it is very slow than compiler. Another one, the machine code translated by interpreter is not saved, but in compiler the machine code translated by the compiler is saved automatically, but in interpreter the machine code translated by the interpreter is not saved. So if you want to execute the program again, we have to translate the program again, but in compiler we need not translate, because in compiler the program saved automatically, but in interpreter the program is not saved, so we need to translate the program again. This is one of the disadvantages. Third one is assemblers. So the assemblers translate the programs in assembly language into machine level language. So the assemblers recognize the mnemonics. Mnemonics means letters, words or symbols. So the assemblers recognize the mnemonics used in assembly language and substitute the machine code for each instructions. So the main work of assembler is to substitute the machine code for each instructions. Look at the picture. The programs written in assembly level language are called source code. Now the assemblers translate the assembly level language into machine level language. Here the program written in machine level are called object code. Next one is system utilities. So the main work of system utilities is proper maintenance of computer hardware and data. So the system utilities are used to support, enhance, secure programs and data in computer system. So some of the functions of system utilities are file management, data backups, data recovery, virus protections, disk cleanup, disk fragmenter, etc. Next one is application software, one of the types of software. So the application software contains set of programs to perform a specific task for applications present in software. Application software contains set of programs to perform a specific task for application present in software. Some of the application softwares are word processor, image editors, database management system and presentation software. So in word processor, it is easy to compose, format, edit and print electronic documents. For example, Microsoft Word. Next one is image editors. This software is specifically designed for capturing, creating, editing and manipulating images. For example, Adobe Photoshop. Nowadays Adobe Photoshop is mainly used in Photo Studio. And another one is database management system. So database management system is a collection of computer programs, is used to allow storage, modifications and extraction of information from database in an efficient manner. So database management system is to manage data in an efficient manner. For example, MS Access. And last one is presentation software. So this is a software that allows the user. Who are the user? We are the users. So presentation software that allows us to create presentations with the help of slides and handouts. Handouts means animations, etc. So for example, MS PowerPoint is a best example for presentation software. So next topic is computer languages. So interact with somebody, we need to speak in language that he or she can understand. Similarly, to interact with the computer, we need a computer language that a computer can understand. A computer understands only the zeros and ones, which is known as binary language or machine language. So to write in machine language by programs is very difficult. For this, a high level programming language have been developed and it can be written in English. The language translators like compilers, translators or assemblers translate the programs into machine code. Generally, the computer languages are divided into two categories, namely low level languages and high level languages. Here, the machine language and assembly language are low level language, and C, C++, Java, etc. are high level language. Is low level language. In general, the program that is translated into binary language that can easily understand and executed more quickly by the computer, because the binary language consists of only zeros and ones. A low level language is a language which is similar to binary language. So generally, The low level language is machine dependent because it is mainly depends on the computer. Low level languages are of two types. One is machine language, another one is assembly language. The machine language is the fundamental language of a computer. It was the first language used in the earliest computers because it contains only digits, zeros and ones. So the computers can easily understand the binary language. The program written in the machine language is called the machine code. Another one is assembly language. So the assembly language uses letters, words and symbols are called mnemonics. So in assembly language, instead of binary digits, it uses the mnemonics in machine language. So it makes us easier to more than the machine level language. The program written in the assembly language is called assembly code. So the assemblers is used to translate the assembly language into machine level language. Next one is high level language. We already know that to write program in low level language such as machine level language or binary language, we face complexity or difficulty. For this, a high level programming language like C, C++, Java have been developed and it can be written in English. Their programs are much more easier to learn and use. Computer can understand only binary language because it contains only zeros and ones. For this, translator needed. A language translator like compiler or interpreter used to translate high level language into machine level language. Here, the low level language is machine dependent program, but high level language is not a machine dependent because the program written in high level language can be used on different computers with modifications. Some of the example of high level languages are C, C++, Java, etc. Students, now unit 1 is over. I hope you understand well. In next class, we will discuss about some interesting topics in unit 2. If you have doubts in this session, you can ask me in WhatsApp group. Still, take care of your health, stay home and stay safe. Thank you.